Welcome, one and all, back to the Stroke of Midnight. You hear the man named Jack and best thigh of strawberry herpes. We are going into a trial for Who Killed Chihiro. To review our skills, increase the influence gauge. We've got increase the time limit. That's good. We've got increased damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed during bullet time. And then increase bullet capacity, effective during the bullet time. So, let's begin.
Alright, I'm excited.
Class trial, all rise!
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one,
So it's been like 2 months since the last trial. I think I remember most of it.
then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Might be a little bit rough to start.
Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Woo!
Yay!
Make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Make your argument. Locker room dumbbell. That's my only truth bullet?
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Alright, why shoots?
Shoot!
Oh!
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt instrument? I bet it was an iron pipe. Interesting.
What? Oh god, it
That
takes so
certainly would-
long.
Poor
Okay.
Chihiro.
Apparently you have to leave those by a lot.
Chihiro's. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt I bet it was an iron pipe.
Man, you really have
No,
to
it's
leave
wrong.
those. That's a little bit early.
I mean, sometimes you could be slightly better.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell? Found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood. And there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
Thank you, Kyoko.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yay! That's so creepy!
But necessary.
Necessary.
If you
Chihiro
don't
doesn't
mind,
touch me.
I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit.
See, you'd like to guide that discussion away from yourself, wouldn't you, Byakuya?
Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
You're really fucking sus, man.
What? For real?
We're just gonna skip through all the evidence and just go right to the
Chihiro's
culprit, eh?
killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Wrong! Trump dot wrong.
I object!
Objection!
Your Honor, this guy is clearly leading
Oh, wait.
the crowd.
New element. Would you like to hear more? Yes. I forgot to voice Makoto's lines. He's shocked that it might be Genocide Jack. For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if you hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. There's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the A button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. But if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all, in which case forget about it and focus. Good luck, have fun. Okay, make your argument. The case file. Okay.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong.
I'm not convinced that I did the right thing there.
Case file isn't proof. Alright.
might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kinda weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now.
Honestly, I agree with that. Yeah.
More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Hifumi,
I hate
I hate you so much, man.
boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic is that how the victim was positioned.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
Wrong!
Why are you so angry about it, Takami?
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
Yeah, he does lie.
Yeah, you got it right once for me.
Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Hagakure just wants to hit up a blunt, you know? It's a riddle, but I understand it. I don't know if Makoto does. Answer is that she's multiple people, right?
See, he got it. You're doing good, Makoto.
Yeah, but Toko's not Genocide Jack. Hangman's Gambit. What? Alright. What? What?
Z.
What am I doing? Help!
Oh, okay. Schizo. The word is schizo.
That's not a word!
I know it's not a word. But it's there.
Okay, but I shot a C.
Okay, see?
Okay.
Alright.
Z. You have to shoot it multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, alright.
Now
I was
I
wondering
understand.
why those letters weren't entering.
But schizo kind of sounds like a... What is
Is it
An
because
insult
Genocide Jack
for people with
has a
schizophrenia?
split
Yeah,
personality?
schizo is a derogatory slang for schizophrenia.
But also, if she's not schizophrenic, she would have...
Yeah, that's a completely different thing. Dissociative identity disorder and schizophrenia are different disorders. Schizophrenia, I believe, is hearing things that aren't there. Hearing voices telling you to do things, seeing things, hallucinations, auditory and visual, that kind of stuff. Dissociative identity disorder is where there are alternate personalities that all live within the one body, but I am not a doctorate in think box science, alright? I'm the YouTube guy who does math, so don't get mad at me if I got one of those wrong. I'm not even gonna pretend I know to be politically correct on
I
that.
think I read that somewhere in the file, too. They
Yeah?
thought that the suspect might have... what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
I think I think DID actually is the correct medical name for it.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable.
Byakuya, shut the fuck up.
Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean she's a killer, Byakuya. Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
Alright, so blood is a trigger.
I'm fine, Cat. Wow.
Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? Yeah?
She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted.
The world has a front and a back, a top ending and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies.
We're wrapped up in the web of lies right now. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
How dare you assume her
Baka.
tone?
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Tweaking.
I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
See, now I'm decent convinced that Toko is Genocide Jack. I'm not convinced that Genocide Jack killed Chihiro.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
Bitch, you cunt.
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation.
Oh, Toko.
She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
I mean, Toko is really not defending herself at all.
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
Real fast.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
Okay.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
Just anyway.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
I don't think she did.
But in spite of that promise,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Ooh, her body suddenly lunged backwards with a thud, but in the next second. Oh, fuck.
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Genocide Jill. Man, babe, what that tongue do?
What the heck?
Fumi's like, holy fuck, I'm standing right next to an absolute bat cave.
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
No.
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
I can't believe I fucking called that. I called that so far ahead. I called that so far ahead.
What the fuck is this?
I'm a Mondo. I was like, nah, I'm big brain. I am the real big
Toko,
brain.
what happened to you?
Yeah, Toko, what the fuck, fam?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality!
Not sure I agree with its textbook, but okay.
So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
Not gonna lie, I kind of love it. The teeth, the tongue, it's just, man, it's so over the top.
She's so intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Is she actually a murderer, or is she just fiercely insane and believes that she's Genocide Jill?
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes,
I
well,
think
the world
the
is
framing
composed of a
question
front and a
is
back, you
almost
know.
Okay. The world is composed of a front and
Just
a
like
back.
how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
How in the bottom of every good lie is a little bit of
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
No, that's just you. Jill.
It's not that funny, girl, but alright.
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is Sparta!
Sparta kick!
This is beyond insane. It's also beyond me.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Can you step one that way? Can you switch places with Dead Leon?
Please.
Some
Get
of
away
us
from
think
me.
you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds!
Oh god, she's Monokuma!
Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true. How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid?
Yeah, Monokuma's got class.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
Someone's been watching The Princess Bride.
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
If your life causes pain to everyone, you need to take a look in the mirror and think, am I the asshole?
Am I toxic?
Yeah,
But then again, she is a serial killer, so...
fair, but if your life causes pain for everyone who knows you, that is the textbook definition of a toxic personality.
Just kidding again!
Oh, okay, Trump. You don't mean anything you say, you're always kidding, okay.
The game is like, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep.
Fair.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
Yakuya, you're going ham after Toko.
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no
I mean,
doubt.
there's more evidence to review. So,
motive?
Go fuck yourself, to be honest.
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
I like how Celeste is actually surprised by all this. Bitch, you're supposed to have a poker face.
So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Yeah, fuck you.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Nah, she's spitting truth, fam. I'll back her up.
Look how sweaty Makoto is. You okay, fam?
Yeah, man, you look kind of pale.
You got a fever?
Maybe she's totally right about that. But something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all of this. We need to review the evidence.
I like how Kyoko's like, oh, this is a waste of time.
Make your argument. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong.
Got it!
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Roasted.
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that, in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murderers. In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. You'll see a clear difference, the victim's fatal injury.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
5 pairs, to be exact.
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
God, I love this new character. Man, what
Could
a
you
what a
please
delight.
stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Yes, I fucking love Totally.
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
I'm more of a... I actually don't sauce my tortellini very often. I usually just spice them.
I'm definitely a pepper sauce.
I should make more tortellini. Some.
But with the sauce, for sure.
The second difference is how she was suspended. All of the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see a clear difference, what was used to suspend her.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I
wonder
use.
what kind of trauma Toko had to experience in order for that to have a split personality.
I don't know.
Because that's usually the cause of it, right? Some sort of trauma.
I mean, the only real familiarity I have with dissociative identity disorder was a message thread posted to a meme site about a dude who, by his own account, gave his life story, and his problem started when he owed some drug lords some money. The drug lords took him and somebody else who also owed them money, flipped a coin, and then took a chainsaw after the other dude who owed them money, pointed at him and said, "This will be you if you don't pay up," and then his brain just kind of shattered. Which, that's pretty fucked up. It's pretty rough stuff there.
I mean, I think I've spoken with someone who had DID, but it's kind of hard to check the validity of those kinds of claims, because this person apparently also had a Nazi personality and claimed that they were a real Nazi just reborn into this person's body.
See, that's slightly different in that is
It sounds, I mean, I don't know. Again, I can't verify the validity of those kinds of personalities. I don't know if they're legitimate or not, but it seems like an exploitation of the actual.
And that's the thing, as far as I'm aware, DID doesn't deal in like reincarnated soul possession business. It's mostly just split personalities, each of which have their own identity, but one of them believing to be somebody else? I don't know much about that, but that doesn't check out with my general knowledge. But again, game.
And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac, that's my name from now on. Big Mac. Wait.
Big Jack.
Big Jack. Mac doesn't even make sense with my character's name. Oh, Makoto. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a fun new username, Jakoto.
Jakoto?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or Big Jack.
Big Jack.
Or if you're going for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Country Jack.
Ah, maybe. That's a show that I haven't seen very much of, but is good.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Big Mac!
Listen up, Big Mac! There's actually one more difference!
Huh?
Are you referring to as Dick
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
See, I wouldn't have realized this if Strawberry hadn't pointed it out.
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
I noticed this like
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
She wasn't Lolly, though. Was she?
I mean, yeah. Definitely looks very young.
See, I'm thinking Gothic Lolita, but that's Celeste. Anyways, patterns surrounding the victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of victims, what you'll notice is that Chihiro was her lover.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They all have dicks!
They all had dicks. You see, here's the thing. I don't know enough about Japanese culture to know that those are all male names, is the other thing, but, you know, that's why it's good that she kind of guided us to that.
Guys?
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Hifumi's really nervous right about now.
He's not cute or little, he's fine.
Fair.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
But yes,
The hell is wrong with you?
What now? What's the word?
Black Widow?
No.
Praying Mantis.
What is it? It starts with a Y. Yandere. She's a yandere.
Oh, okay.
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl! And the mopey side of me just hates it! But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
What?
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Taka's also really concerned right about that.
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid.
Her food metaphors have been on fucking point. She just keeps it going with the noodle metaphor.
I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
I like Yakuya.
Quiet, lolly cur!
Yes!
Put him in his place, Jill.
Cur?
Yes!
Would
Trigger
never kill
him!
for a
Trigger
reason
that
as petty
bitch!
as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
Oh, I love her.
Does make some amount of sense.
Jill might be my favorite character.
Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Yeah, could she even lift that weight? Like, damn, that was like a 50-pound weight.
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
I want her to pull a pair of scissors out of her back pocket and say, Lamau Psych.
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
My girl! Yes! Ah! She's ready to murder at a moment's fucking notice.
Is she your best girl now?
Best girl. I can't wait to seduce her in the next chapter.
She's fully equipped.
She packing heat, yo!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime.
I'm on board with that. She's got pocket scissors. Dun dun!
Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty
scissors
by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you.
I'm not a gutter dog. I'm with
Not
you.
to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Yes.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
The police and Byakuya.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
There
I
is.
mean, how do we know that Tagami didn't, you know, use his own files from his own suitcase or whatever in the plant?
Yeah, I'm kind of fingering Tagami for this now.
I wouldn't want my fingers anywhere near Tagami.
Tagami.
Here's my answer.
You bitch.
Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records.
You told me as much yourself, you dumb bitch.
Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
That's who I'm fingering, yeah.
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Man.
She's gonna kill him later.
Well, Byakuya,
If he
what's your
survives this.
response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? Seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
Wrong.
I mean...
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it?
How would he have had
Go
access
ahead,
to it?
share with the rest of the class.
Well, Monica.
Alright. New element, yes. A truth flashback. Aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. Memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use it to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Oh god, okay. If you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. What? What? Monokuma file number 2.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
you absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
I hate you. Look at me.
Hold on.
So...
What contradiction am I not seeing? We were searching for Chihiro because she was missing. Is she not actually a girl?
Do you want me to tell you?
Hold on, let me look through something. Second train before we found the body. Wait, hold on. Can I? Okay, I can pause this. Victim was Chihiro from Kusaki. Body discovered in the girl's locker room. Cause of death was a blow to the head of the object. She was killed instantly.
But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
you absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for...
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Shoot!
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girl...
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a... So of course I would suggest we check. There was no time. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the... But he was acting weird...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check...
That's a natural...
The victim was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong!
Yay! You did it!
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
But everyone was accounted for except Chihiro. No?
You were looking for the body.
Yeah,
or
but...
for the dead person.
Yeah, but didn't we have everyone together like, oh god, Chihiro's missing, we gotta find him? No? Okay, my memory's playing tricks on me then.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
3 other people are missing. Who was it? Kyoko
I
was
see.
also missing.
That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it?
What's with his attitude? Like he doesn't even care. Does Byakuya care about this? Huh.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
He really doesn't think I've got enough
There
evidence.
is. There is more to it. Think about it.
Shut up, Kyoko!
No,
We just
help.
talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Anytime Kyoko speaks, it's gold.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
It's like, I didn't say that.
The differences. The evidence that proves he's responsible? Desk lamp. Okay.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy in...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Was I in time?
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong! Bitch!
I always just want to
Actually,
hit the desk and
I'm
go,
pretty sure you
"Please,
have seen it
objection."
before.
Objection!
Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
I love Makoto's like extension
Byakuya,
cord.
you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message.
No, actually.
I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
No. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Indeed.
Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
The swapped rooms plays into this.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Maybe Byakuya also has dissociative disorder.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime.
Byakuya, why are you advocating for your...
Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Something he just said, something's not right. Her body was found in the locker room. But no, something's off. The scene of the crime.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What
Fuck you,
kind of
Byakuya.
question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that.
Dead, yes, but moved there.
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Byakuya, did I just catch you off guard? When the story moved to the crime scene, he'd been so confident. But he seems shaken. Maybe he never realized that the actual scene of the crime...
Hey! Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
I got your proof right here, fuckboy. Evidence that shows it took place somewhere else. Something that was switched. Two things, actually. Let's get the poster first, because that's the most obvious.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is... the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
And some other stuff, but that's the first one.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange?
Big-tittied police girl! Same energy.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
Hey man, don't judge what they're into.
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
I like how she's just playing with the scissors now. That's got the same... Where's my butterfly knife?
She is your real girlfriend.
That's got the same energy as me just casually playing with a butterfly knife.
And I feel like Kafumi just going, stop it! Stop, please!
Meanwhile,
I need to actually
the
learn how to
boys'
spin
locker room
butterflies.
had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Those are the Power Rangers.
I need a nail
Blue,
clipper.
green, purple, orange, and the bottom one I guess is yellow.
Cyan. They're all sus.
Cyan. They're all Power Rangers.
They're the Among Us crew.
No, they're Power Rangers.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
Yep.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It moved. Disappearing stain, dead body, boys' locker room carpet. There it is.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
I like how she can see directly into my fucking memories. That! What you're remembering right now! That's my coffee stain!
Then, does that mean that the carpets were
They all
switched
can
too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible. Don't what? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
That is the big question that I haven't figured out yet. Why?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
Excellent question. I'm hoping somebody else has some evidence.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room.
Did she steal Leon's handbook?
She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
Unless she stole Leon's handbook.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
What? Hagakure is going to contribute something?
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Broken e-handbook. And I've also got my weak point.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong. No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh.
Presumably.
Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
Especially borrowing from a corpse.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Unless Leon's book was broken after she used it.
You can't fix an e-handbook! The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring!
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
Eat a dick, Hifumi!
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room.
Also wrong.
So I guess so.
There's other handbooks she could have borrowed there. Oh wait, no, yeah, Leon's was the only male. Never mind.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
You're way too early, Taka. I don't know, this still doesn't add up.
It's too much like Among Us. Like, stop being so hasty.
Is that it? Did Byakuya kill her in the girls' locker room? Really? But...
Hold on a second.
Yes.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
That turkey smells really good.
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Okay.
Assuming you have a... Assuming you have, like, what, a carving fork? Is that what they're called?
I got knives.
That works, too.
Wait! Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, alright then. I declare an official class trial recess!
I could make a video break here.
I think you should.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Since we're taking a break from the class trial, this has been a 1-hour episode already. I did say I was going to try to do the whole trial in one episode, but there's still a lot of loose ends, and we're an hour deep already. So I am severely out of time for this episode. We will wrap things up in the next episode. But until then, I'll have to catch you in the echoes.
And don't forget to tongue punch that like button. We're gonna go sift some turkey.
Turkey time!